So good morning. In today's class, we'll be dealing with the multi-stage graph problem using dynamic programming and especially using backward approach. As in the previous class, I have discussed there are two ways by which a multi-stage graph problem can be solved in the context of dynamic programming. That is via forward approach, which we have already discussed in the previous class, in which we are supposed to maintain a table which is actually made in a backward direction, and then we'll trace out the smallest or the shortest path from source to sink based on that particular table in a forward direction. And the second approach that we are going to discuss today will be backward approach, which is actually used to solve a multi-stage graph problem in the context of dynamic programming approach. So what we are going to learn in this lecture, we are going to learn about the following topics: what is a multi-stage graph and what is a multi-stage graph problem, which I have already discussed in the earlier part, how this problem is solved using dynamic programming, and most important, the backward approach to solve multi-stage graph problem, and how the multi-stage graph problem backward approach is different from forward one. So these are the points that we are going to discuss in today's class. So let's begin with our backward approach, multi-stage graph problem solved using backward approach in the context of dynamic programming. So this is an example of a multi-stage graph in which there are 6 vertices which are further subdivided into 4 stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. S here simply represent a source vertex, which is a vertex in a multi-stage graph whose in degree is exactly 0, and there is only one that particular vertex, and it is actually known as source. Whereas the vertex T of stage 4 is actually a sink vertex or a destination vertex, which is actually a vertex in a multi-stage graph whose out degree is exactly 0, as it is quite evident from this particular diagram. Whereas the remaining 5 vertex are the intermediate vertex A, B, C, D and E, and in this particular graph we have to simply trace the path, the shortest path from vertex S of stage 1 to vertex T of stage 4, that is a sink vertex. That is we are supposed to find out the shortest path from source to sink. Now in the forward approach, we actually come up with the table which is actually being filled in the backward direction while tracing the smallest of path from stage 4 to stage 1. And once that table is particularly filled, then we use that particular table in order to trace the path from S to T in a forward direction. So that is the forward approach. In forward approach, basically with the aid of that particular table, we are simply tracing the path, the shortest path from the source to sink in a forward direction. But in backward approach, we are not supposed to make any particular table. We are not supposed to fill the entries in any particular table. Here we are simply generating the cost from a particular vertex to a destination vertex in a backward direction, and using those and using the values of those particular vertex in the upcoming formulas in order to generate the shortest path from a particular vertex to a destination. So this whole procedure is done in a backward manner, that is from T towards S. So this approach is known as backward approach, and it is quite easy and also require less computation as compared to forward approach, because there is no need to make a table. Here we are simply utilizing the already computed distance of a particular vertex in the next vertex. So as I already explained why this approach is known as backward approach, because in this approach we are simply calculating the distance from each and every vertex to a destination vertex in a backward direction, that is from stage 3 to stage 1. And whatever the smallest path that we are generating from a particular vertex, we are utilizing that particular smallest path in the upcoming formulas. So that is the reason why this approach is known as backward approach. Now first, since we are in stage 4, in stage 3 there are only two vertex, that is D and E. So we simply generate the distance, the amount of cost that is required to travel from D to T. So since there is only one H that is actually originating from D and ending up in T, so there is no need of comparison, because there is only single path available. So obviously the answer will be 8. Now from E also there is one edge, so 2, and the shortest path from stage 3 to stage 4 is via ET, is via vertex ET, because it is offering the minimum cost. Now in the next, now we have to generate or compute the cost of all the vertex of stage 2 in order to reach to stage 4 vertex T. So let's begin first calculating. We are simply calculating the cost from A to T. So this is the formula. Since there are two paths, if we wish to reach from A to T, there are two routes which are available. There are two paths which are available, one via D and one via E. So we'll be taking both the routes and opting for that one which is offering the minimum cost. So this is the formula, like minimum cost of H AD, that is 3, plus cost to reach from vertex D to T, that we have already computed, and that is DTT, that is 8. Now there is another path via E to reach T from A. So the cost of or the weight of HAE plus the cost to reach from E to T, which we have already computed, that is DET, that is we are simply putting the values 3 plus 8 and 6 plus 2. Obviously 6 plus 2 is smaller, and since we are selecting that particular value which is offering the minimum cost, so 8 is less than 11, so we are simply opting for 8. So if we wish to reach from A to T, then the minimum then the path with minimum cost will be AET. So that is the path from A to T which is offering the minimum cost. Now the second vertex of stage 2 is B, and we have to calculate the minimum cost to reach from B to T. So the formula is again the same, minimum. So via B there are two paths, obviously via D and via E. So we will be considering both the path. The first minimum bracket 4 here representing the cost or the weight of HBD plus DDT, which we have already computed. So we are using this particular value, and then there is another path via E. So the weight of HBE is 10 plus DET, which we have already computed. So again both the paths are offering the same cost, that is 12. So there are two ways, both are offering the same cost in order to reach T via D and E from B. So these are the two paths which are offering this minimum cost. Now C is the third vertex of stage 2, and from C there are two paths which are available in order to reach T, one via E and one directly T. So we will be considering that particular path minimum 3 DET and DCT. So the value of DCT is already 10, whereas via E the value is 5. So 5 is less than so the path from in order to reach via from vertex C to T is via E, and that is CET. So we have simply successfully calculated or computed the values or the cost to reach from A to T, B to T and C to T. Now finally we'll be calculating the cost to reach from S to T, and for that we'll be utilizing the already computed values of DAT, BAT and CAT, which we have already calculated in the previous particular stages. So in that particular sense also it is a backward approach, because we are simply in the present scenario we are simply utilizing the values which we have already generated previously. So that is also a backward so it is also one of the reason why this approach is known as backward approach, because simply we are using the previously computed values in the present formula. So just you can see in this particular case S is the source and T is the distance. So the formula will be minimum, as there are 3 routes to reach T, one via A, one via B and one via C. So we'll be considering all these 3 paths. So minimum bracket the weight of HSA, that is 1, plus DAT, which we have already computed. So we have taken that particular 8 here. Now the weight of HSB, that is 2, and the value of DBT, which we have already computed the minimum cost to reach from vertex B to T, that is 12, and then the weight of HSC, that is 7, plus DCT, which we have already calculated in the previous step. So we are simply putting the values, and once we are adding those particular values, the minimum cost is offered by the path SAET, which is 9. So 9 is the minimum cost that is required to travel from S to T, and that particular route will be SAE, and that particular route will be SAET. So that is actually the path, the shortest path, and the cost of this particular shortest path is 9, and the shortest path will be SAET. So that is the backward approach. It is very simple and easy as compared to forward one, because there is no need to maintain a table. Now let's take another question, which is actually